Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Tidal Wave. Oh my god, he's here. Finally. I'm like the last person on this planet to be able to review this guy, because I got him late. But, oh, he looks so good. However, we are way further away from him. Like, we are far away. Because he is also so big. Technically, I can't even get him a shot yet. But he looks good. Now, this is Tidal Wave based on his appearance in Armada, the Transformers Legacy United Armada Universe Tidal Wave Titan class figure that we got from Legacy United. And man, am I happy with him. Because he looks good. Now, he is smaller than other Titan class figures. I feel like I need to mention that before we get into anything. I'll just say that immediately from the get-go. Yes, he's smaller than other Titan class figures. And let's be honest, I only have one. I only have Metroplex from Cybertron. That's the only other Titan class figure I have. I don't have like Omega Supreme, Triptychon, Scorponok, Metroplex, or whoever else. I don't have them. But this figure still looks really good. So let's get in close here. If we can. On his head sculpt, let's see here. We have to bend him down, but here we have him with his head sculpt. By the way, he is on his knees, so he is ready. Here we got Tidal Wave's beautiful head sculpt, and it is one nice looking head sculpt with the 3 dots up here. Now, in Japan, this guy is called Shockwave, so that explains the colors and maybe some other design decisions. Maybe even these three circles here to kind of represent Shockwaves. I don't know, but this guy. The colors are weird though, I will say that. The colors are a bit weird. Let's just go a little bit more down. Here we got his chest full of nice, good looking detail. Got a nice Decepticon symbol here up the front. And here we have his legs, I guess, but his crotch with a nice little, I don't know what that's supposed to be. But anyway, and here we have, let's go to his arms. Let's move this up a bit more. There we got his beautiful arms, as you can see. We have to once again very high up. So my voice might sound a little bit different. All the nice, look at all the sculpted detail that is in here. I think my camera's picking up pretty well, but there's so much sculpted detail on this figure too. They did not spend any expense. Now I guess we can get him kind of standing again. So we can have a look at those nice legs of his. But yeah, here we got the nice big beefy legs. And big beefy feet. With big beefy ankles. Man. This guy looks good. Also, the swivel here is a bit loose. There's a lot of play here. Here in this area, there's a lot of play. There you go. Now you can see all the details that he even has in his legs, as you can see up here and up here. The pistons and all that stuff. Man, but it is weird to see good old Tidal Wave in these colors. I will say that right now. Because I've always had the Hasbro version of the original Armada figure since it came out about 20 years ago. Man, I'm old. But anyway, I've always had that figure, and, well, this guy's purple, which is kind of weird, but he looks really good. And there we have him from the back, and I have seen some issues with his back, as people might complain about it. The fact that he's got a bit of hollowness up in this area region, which he does technically. However, you can take his butt flap and lift it up to kind of cover it up a bit, which when the mini-me is out, I use this to cover it up. And it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look perfect. I kind of wish he had a panel that you can open up and then pull it out and then close it back up. I kind of wish he had something like that. A little extra system. I don't know where they would have gotten that from budget-wise. I don't know how these budgets work. He has cannons in his hand here and here. That is something that I did not expect, because the original one doesn't have cannons in his hands. And it's been a while since I've seen Armada. Now let's just get close in here on the back side for the shocking Tidal Wave. And you can see all these sculpted details here on the back even. Like, look at all the detail that's here, and the mini-me that we'll talk about later. And even here on the back of his legs. Oh, this purple looks to be a lot darker on my camera. But, wow, the camera really makes this out to be blue. This is still purple. It's just dark purple. I don't know why the camera's doing this. And then here we got the bottom of his legs. But man, he even has like thrusters here, which I don't know why they're there, but they're there. And he looks very accurate to his show model. I actually rewatched like an episode where Tidal Wave appeared. I forgot which episode it was. It was like this morning. He is huge. Like, I get it, okay, people? He's not the biggest man that he ever is, but he is huge. So let's just get into articulation next, because that is going to be my most difficult of things to show off. So starting off with his head. His head can do a full rotation like so. Then his arms, they can go all the way around on a nice, beautiful ratchet. He also has, because there's some opening here on the back, he has one click of a backwards butterfly. No forward though, but he has backwards butterfly, so for posing people, you can get that. Next up for his arm, it can go all the way out and even higher. It can go that high. About that high. So he can pick something up from the top shelf, but let's be honest here, he is probably taller than the whole building. Then you have a bend at the elbow that goes about that far, and a swivel down here. Oh, this thing's heavy. And then his hands, his fingers can move. This can also open up, but his fingers can move down, and then he has another joint there. But that's not really necessarily usable. His thumb can also go up and down, and let's move this out the way. This can rotate, this piece here, but this can also rotate. This is more for something else that we'll talk about later, the detachment. You can flip this piece up about that far, not much further, and obviously, as I already showed with the back piece, you can lift that up. He actually has, as you can see in here, a waist rotate cut, so he has a waist rotation. However, it sadly enough does not go all the way around because his butt flap blocks it. But it's such a tight one. But his butt flap, his front flap kind of blocks the waist rotation. This thing is so tight. Ah! Oh, like your mom. And then his legs. Now his legs for me are really tight. The upper legs are really tight. So this is gonna be a bit of a challenge to show off on camera. But his leg can move about that far forward until the piece blocks it, and backwards about all the way, as you can see. Then he has a swivel up here on his leg up here. He has a swivel on both sides, by the way, but also both sides are the same in articulation, so there you go. Then move this out the way. He has a bend at the knee that goes about that far. He also has movement here in his ankle, and his feet can also go down. I don't know what kind of posability you can get out of that, but this is mainly for transformation. But he does have an ankle tilt that goes about that far. Oh, and his legs can also move in apparently on this joint. I did not know that he had that joint. Why does he have this joint? I didn't know he could do this. Oh, that's awesome. That's the one thing about the articulation I didn't know. Maybe that is useful for the base mode. I haven't actually put him in the base mode yet, because I don't count that mode as an official mode. Because, let's be honest here, his combined mode is the base mode. For the next segment, his accessories. Now, he doesn't necessarily really come with anything, you know, like a gun to hold. But these cannons here and these things were all the accessories he came with, except for one thing, and that is the mini-me's, which this guy likes to fall out all the time, and when I like to actually pull him out, he doesn't want to be pulled out. But we have a torso unit that can actually, if you lift this up, I mean, here's a tab that goes to a slot in there, so you basically just want to take this and tab it in, to rotate, straighten this out, rotate it up, and then like so. And here we got a little mini fleet. But that's not all, because we can rip him apart more. If you pull on this, untab these pieces here, they tab in here. This tab here goes in there. You pull this out, and then you pull on this, and you rip off his fingers. Pull. This one was easier. And rip it apart. Now then, they have kind of made it so that when you rip pieces off of Tidal Wave, he wouldn't necessarily suffer. However, with the hands, he suffers the most. However, this is why with this, you can rotate this around to kind of like fill in the gap. I don't know which way it is supposed to rotate, like this. So there you go. He is missing his little thumb though. Sadly enough, he is missing his thumb. But there you go. He has hands again, kind of. Because what you want to do is you want it to come here to his legs. You want to unfold this and then pull back on it to rip it off. And there you go. We have a leg. And another one. You just pull it off like so. Simple as can be. And here he is. And to be honest, he does not look too horrible without his mini fleet. I mean, yes, he's got the gap here. He's got a big gap in his back. And he's got like gap here. But like overall, from the front, the only thing that really kind of looks off are his hands. But outside of that, it's fine. Anyway, so let's just combine the mini-me's. So what you want to do with this is, first of all, funny enough, these things combine better than the legs do. But you can see tabs on this side that go into slots on this side. You just line it up, tab it together, and bam. You can even fold this up or just leave this out like so. And then with this, now this is an interesting one. You want to basically get this tab into that hole. So just rotate this around until tab and hole match each other. And then what you want to do, as it's already doing, you want to rotate this piece here around like so. And there you go. A little half. Do the same thing on the other side. So basically what you want to do is you want to come on, rotate this around and then fold this in like so. Get it in there. Voila. And then rotate this around. And then you can take these two halves and there is a tab here and a tab here, and the slot there and the slot here. So just tab this together like so. And here we got Mini Dark Fleet, made from Tidal Wave's parts, which I love these guys. I do, but I wish they could combine into their own mini like super fleet, like the, you know, you can take these things and tab them in here. Yeah, so that you can basically just do this and this and then open this up so that this thing can fit in here. And there you go, the Mega Mode. Something like that. I kind of wish he did that, but also the pieces are really out of scale with each other. But that's because these things are meant for Megaman himself. But I just thought we'll talk about those right now. Anyway, let's move these off to the side, and I will attach them actually back up to Big Daddy himself, who is really big daddy. So I will do that right now. Oh, and I should probably show off how this slots in. So as you can see in here, let's see here, yeah, there you go. You got this tab here that goes into this slot here. So just fold it out like so. And then just go ahead and tab it back in. And make sure that this tab's in here as well. So that you got everything good. In here, right here on these two sides, there are two tabs. I don't know if you can see that. Alright, got a flashlight. As you can see, there's a tab there and a tab there. This really gets blocked because of the lights. Anyway, those two tabs are going to go in these two slots here on either side. So you just want to take it like so. And then just take it and just slide it in. There you go. There you go. There's Big Man himself. And then with these leg pieces, then there's a slot here that this tab up here goes into. And then there's a slot down here that this tab down here goes into. That one. It is difficult to show this off on camera because the light blocks everything. We basically just want to take him, push him down like so, put it in, and then rotate around. We'll show the Megatron integration later. So let's get into size comparison. So starting off with size comparison, here he is next to my other big boys. Titan class Metroplex from Cybertron Universe and just 01 Studio Cell, or also known as Generation 1 Unicron, which I also count as a Titan class figure. So he's taller than Unicron, but way smaller than Metroplex. And this is where people had issues, because them too. Not really Unicron. Nobody can get out of this shot. But like those two. Because of how small Tidal Wave is compared to him. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame. I don't know why they made him so short. Compared to... Because like, you could say, oh, they kind of use that budget in order to make the mini-me's. But he comes with a big weapon, which you can kind of see above his head. This thing right here. He comes with that thing. which is huge. It's bigger than he is. So there's not really an excuse for why he's this small and still like really, really expensive. I don't know how the price was between the two, because funny enough for me, he was more expensive than him. Because I got Metroplex on a deal for $100, which was well worth it. And I got Tidal Wave, even though he has a bit of a paint chip or whatever. But anyway, I got Tidal Wave at full price, which, yeah, I still like him, but we'll get into that in the final thoughts. But here's the size comparison between my 3 big boys. I still remember back in, you know, like, it was like a couple of years ago where Ultimate Optimus Prime for Transformers Dark of the Moon was my biggest figure. That thing is a midget compared to these guys. My goodness. It's like me living in the Netherlands. And here he is next to his original version, and as you can see, he's so small. Back in the day, that figure, that little guy, the little dwarf that you see right there, the little mini guy, he was huge in my collection. He was big. He was actually big. And now, look at it. Way more accurate in scale the new one is, and also in colors. But I now you can kind of see where my problems lie, kind of small issues with the colors. Where it's like, I always knew about this little guy and his colors. And now I see him in his accurate colors. And I love him more in accurate colors. But those are also accurate. It's kind of annoying. Because for anyone who doesn't know, when Armada was around, I think it was around Armada time, maybe it was even after Armada. Anyway, they made a Transformers video game on the PlayStation 2. This one. This game. They made that game. And in that game, Tidal Wave has this huge boss fight where he is absolutely huge. I might show some clips from my Let's Play. But he's huge. But the Tidal Wave is him colors, not him colors. So this is Gamer Edition Tidal Wave, and that is Armada Show Edition Tidal Wave. Sadly enough, they did not put Tidal Wave, even though he's the biggest guy ever. They didn't put Tidal Wave on the box, but yeah, in this game. So basically, they're both accurate. But man, I love these two next to each other, man. It's like me living in the Netherlands. This time the joke works better, because everyone is about him tall. And I am about him tall. I'm a dwarf compared to everyone else here in the Netherlands. Every Dutch person is huge. And I'm like so tiny as can be. But my goodness, they look good together. And even then, like, this guy only has a slightly more articulation than that guy. This was 2004. This was back in the day when these figures were basically bricks. But yeah, that little guy right there, which is so weird to call him a little guy. But he had amazing articulation from back in the day. And they didn't really improve much with him, because he has a rotating head. And he has ankle tilt. And he can bend his knees, which he can't. But outside of that, basically the same articulation. Even finger articulation is what he has. But yeah, so let's get into the next segment where we bring in the Legacy Armada lads. So, whew, what a review. Here he is with some other Armada figures that I have, plus the Legacy United Armada figures. Here he is with Double Hot Shot, the Sideways, Cyclonus, Starscream and Megatron, Optimus Prime in his combined mode, because I'm not going to rip Optimus Prime apart for a size comparison for Tidal Wave, and Scavenger. So yeah, here you go, some Armada figures. And man, am I happy, he's so big, and I love it. I don't love the next segment that we're gonna do, but I love how big he is, and he looks so good with them, towering over them like he should. I mean, look at it. Tidal Wave is bigger than Commander Class Optimus Prime, yet he is tiny compared to Titan Class Tidal Wave. But man, this is a good looking thing. But before we get Tidal Wave into his mode, I think this is a perfect opportunity to show off Megaman combined with these little guys. So let's get these things started and ready to go. So what you want to do with these leg pieces kind of thingies, what you want to do is you want to unfold these things here. They're on the inside here. You have pieces here that can unfold. Then you also want to unfold this piece here. And then you want to take, there are 2 tabs here that go into the 2 slots in there. So basically you just want to take this and push it in. And then also on the inside here, you have some nubs to pull out. So on the outside here, there are some nubs. And there you go. Now we have a jetpack. So what you want to do here is you want to come to his back. And you can see 3 holes. These 3 are going to shove in there. So what you can do is just attach these things like so. Whew, this was a little bit more difficult and annoying to do, but here it is. Now then, with this next piece, you take this thing here and you fold it out. And then you can attach it to the arm in there. So the port and slot, as you can see, there you go. Here we have one. Alright, so since I don't know how to read nor be able to understand how pictures work, I forgot something. On the inside here, there are these big old stompers with a little bit of damage because I think damaged on one side. Yeah. We got feet in here. Oh my god, I just ripped the box apart trying to find these things, and they were locked in his legs. I looked in the instructions, I was like, oh hey, that's where they are. But yeah, so in his legs there are some feet, and these go on the other side of Megatron's feet. And these can also attach to here with this. This looks like a slot, but it is actually a peg that goes into the big hole here. So you can store it like that. Anyway, what you're supposed to do is, I don't even know which one's left and which one's right. I think they are basically, it doesn't matter which one is which. So just attach it to the bottom of his feet. That way he has some extra heels to be able to carry all of Tidal Wave's mini-me's. So just attach that. So look good in the instructions, people, please. And then with this one, you want to take this back here and fold it out. And then that also attach it to this side up here. You can also do it down there, but that would look silly. So let's just attach this up here. And here we have, as I've heard it being called, because I haven't watched the show in a while, Burning Megaman. Haha. And I will say this, I love how they did this, because the thing is that I guess maybe the reason why the original Tidal Wave was not as tall as Big Man over here is because he had to attach to the Megatron from Armada. And that would not really work. His pieces on him, he's as big as the arm, as his arm. He's about the same size as his arm. He's smaller than his arm. Imagine this big thing on this little guy's arm here. That is so funny. But here we got Burning Megatron, and this looks really cool. It's something that I've always loved. However, the connection is a bit annoying to do in the back here. And also, by the way, this is why, if anyone wondering why his shoulders don't move, this is why. But yeah, here you go. Here we have Megaman in his burning mode, and oh, he looks so good. But he also looks so silly. And also you can attach this as well. I untabbed it because I found it looked too long, but man, is there anything you can't do? So, let's move Burning Megaman to the side. Get Tidal Wave back in the shot. Kind of. Get Tidal Wave's legs back in the shot. Attach these pieces from him back onto him. Let's tear this mother apart. Alright, so before we get to the actual transformation, now how I'm gonna do this, to anyone wondering, is we're gonna rip him apart, turn those into his Dark Fleet, then after that we're gonna combine them into the Mega Big Boy, and then finally we're gonna do base mode. Alright, so let's just start by ripping him apart. So with his legs, what you want to do is, there you go, right down here. Okay. Take this here and just slide it off like so. Move these pair of legs off to the side. And what you want to do is this part here, is you basically want to take the arms and just rip them off. Take these arms and just rip them off. I like to straighten them out so that you can have a better grip. And here we go. He has been ripped apart. So now, let's go each piece individually. So what shall we begin with? Well, people, I think we shall begin with the pair of stompers that we got here. We got two pairs of legs with nothing attached, even though it looks like maybe something is attached. So what you want to do with this one is you want to start off by opening up the legs. Oh. Yeah. There you go. Like so. Then you want to take this big purple thing and just rotate it all the way around so that it sits nicely in there. Close it back up. Same thing on the other side. Rotate this down. Close it back up. Simple and easy, right? Well, we'll keep that going. Okay, I don't know why I'm knocking everything out. Also, this fell off for some reason, so let's just attach this back on here. Because this is not the best connection, but these two will never have a good connection anyway. So what you want to do is you want to fold the heel down, fold the foot also down and over. Basically, just get that in there. And then in here, what you want to do is you want to take this piece here and unfold it. I did not know I had to do this because the original one did not do that. Anyway, and then you got two tabs under here that go into the slots here on the big foot. And there you go. One done. Two done. They even have rolling wheels on the underside here. And then what you want to do is you want to clip them together. Now, I will say this, Hasbro, you did not do this correctly. I will say this right now. Why did you make it like this? Because look at this. Nothing really sticks out here. Look at how like close it is to its own thing. It doesn't stick out. So when you tap these two together, which is already hell to do because you can't line it up. But I did it just now. You tap them together, like so. But one little tab, and they untab. I didn't even do anything. So let's just put them off to the side and hope that they don't untab so we can just move on to the next thing. Now, arms. What you want to do with the arms is you want to rotate them so that they are straight, flush, like so. And what you want to do is you want to take this piece here and rotate it down. If you lifted it up, by the way, that is. And then rotate this piece in, take this piece here and rotate it out, like so. So that it sits like that. Keep this down. Oh, actually, what you can do with this is you can lift it up, rotate it around like so, otherwise it's not going to fit. Rotate it back down, straighten out the thumb here. One side's done. Other side, same, basically. Not entirely. Ow. Because you want to take this purple piece here and rotate it out and tab it into place. Also lift this piece up, rotate it around, lift the piece down because it always likes to lift up for some reason. And also straighten this out like so. Now these two tab together much in the same vein as him. You got two of these purple tabs that go into purple slots here. However, this guy has a more secure connection because he's got two tabs here and here that go into slots there and there. So you want to take this. Basically what I like to do is I like to line up these two tabs with these two slots and just let the rest happen. Just like push afterwards. And there you go. Tidal Waves. Oh, front still needed to tap together. There you go. Tidal Waves front piece is now done as well. And then finally, I guess, here we got the legs. Now with the legs, what you want to do is you want to take, well, the chest. Anyway, you want to untap this piece here. Take the legs here and rotate them all the way around. Oh, but before you do that, make sure you untap these pieces here and just rotate them up to kind of get them out the way. Anyway, rotate this all the way around. I'm losing weight by the second. But yeah, rotate them all the way around like so. Then what you want to do with this piece here is just untab it. It tabs in up here and over here. You want to untab it and make sure the piece likes to fall out. You can put it off to the side. We'll fix that later. Anyway, you want to untap this and lift it up. It tabs into these things here and on the other side as well. They go on the underside here. Rotate this piece around like so and then fold it back down. On this hinge down in here and this hinge up here. So just push it down like so. Tab it in. Don't tab in the front yet. Leave that, lift that up and tab everything else kind of together. Like so. Then with these things, what you want to do is you want to basically straighten them out. Bring them, oh, make sure the head's straight. Bring them kind of together. Make sure that they are fully straightened out. So just straighten this whole thing out. And then, come on. Push it together like so. And then you have under here, there are two holes that go into those two tabs right there. And then these two tabs go in here as well. So you just want to fold this down and just, okay. Fold it down like so. Lift up these booby cannons, and well, now they're not booby cannons anymore. And here we have Tidal Wave. Actually, you also want to take this piece here and just push it back in down on the underside of here. And here we got the Dark Fleet. So here we have the Dark Fleet in their vehicle modes. And I just transformed Titan class Metroplex, and I'm a bit out of breath, but that will not stop me from checking out my boy Tidal Wave. So let's move these out of the way so we can look at the arms first, which looks so good. I love the purple stripes going across this. The big Decepticon symbol still exists. You got these like missile pods, I guess, right here on the side, the yellow ones. At least that's what the artwork kind of looked like on Tidal Wave's torso with these things. But yeah, now we can also get a lot more details from the robot mode because of the fact that we can now, as you can see, much details under here. But we can now fully appreciate the details of this figure, because in robot mode that was a bit of an annoyance to really do, because he was so big. But now that he's in pieces, we can really just get into the details. Also, I saw the trailer for Agatha all along, which I guess they went back on the title again. I didn't like that. It was probably the worst thing I've done so far, outside of beating GTA 5. Getting every Pokemon in Pokemon Violet that is available in Pokemon Violet from the Paldea Dex. Reviewing Tidal Wave's robot mode, transforming him into this mode, and transforming every figure that I use for size comparison. I would say Agatha all along is probably the worst thing I've done. Oh, why is that show being made? Anyway, but yeah, this looks great. Also, you got some nice details in here. Next up, let's take the pair of legs. And hopefully they won't fall apart. And if they do, I will just look at them apart, because I don't like this thing. These legs are my biggest issue, because if they just had some pegs and holes sticking out, well, the holes not really, but the pegs sticking out, it would have worked way better. Or had what this guy has, this one has, with the fact that it has like these tabs that you can just tap together. If this one had that, then everything would have been fine. But this is still... This is such a good looking mode though. Look at this. Look at how good these legs look. By the way, this one has better integration with Big Boy here, so who cares? I don't know what these modes are called, by the way. I don't really care to look it up. I just had to do a bunch of transformations, including including Cybertron Metroplex. So give me a small break, will ya? Please, it's all I'm asking for. But this looks really good. You got the nice details up here and here. Here you got a cockpit for people to sit in, or whatever you want to call it. A bridge, I think it's called. I think it's called a bridge. You got some nice details even here on the inside right here. Oh my god, all the details. Some of the purple is a bit mismatched. I don't know why that is. I don't know how that happened, how the purple got mismatched, you know. I mean, they could have just used purple plastic for this whole thing. And I also like how the foot, it's outside the underside, but like from the side here and from the top, it does pretty much blend in. And now we'll look at this side here with the bridge and everything else. I think this is supposed to be some kind of submarine, but let's try and tap these back together. And let's move them off to the side. Right, so we can look at the big boy himself, the actual missile launcher machine. And I hit the camera by excitement. Oh, look at the yellow here at the front, the purple thing sticking out. We got the big cannons on top. We got some missile pods here on the side. We got some nice details, some orange over there, a lot of yellow around. Man, this thing just looks so good. Outside of this thing not tabbing together, these three modes are really good. But this is not the main show. The main show is obviously the base mode, which we will get to eventually. Don't you worry about it. But yeah, but we got some more details there. On the other side here, we got some details. And we got a littler version of this big boy under here as well, with some nice wheels down here and up here. And Tidal Wave's head is kind of visible. I would have liked it if the head could have been pushed in, kind of like with the original, but it does look good. Also, articulation wise, these cannons can rotate basically all the way around. They got these nicely rotation as well. And that's about it. And also, technically, his wings can fold out, but we don't want to do that because of the fact that is more for the combined mode. So, it's that time of year again, ain't it? We gotta get into some size comparison, because there's not really much else to talk about in this mode. So let's go and do that. I'll grab some figures and go from some size comparison. So here we have the Dark Fleet, together with Metroplex, the other Titan class figure that I have. To be honest, this guy, it looks great though. But yeah, but here he is next to Metroplex. The big boy himself, who only has one mode. Outside of the 2 robot modes, but those are 2 robot modes, and that doesn't really matter anyway, but they look good together. Good and big and huge, man. This is my table. It barely fits on the table, and I don't want to move the pair of legs because that might fall apart. So now then, let me grab the old friends to compare it to new one, the Grandpapa. And here we have Grandpapa with the new one. The younger generation, who is for some reason way taller. And also, Ramjet. I forgot about Ramjet. And that is because of the fact that Tidal Wave in the Armada show did not have a minicon. But because it's the gimmick, he comes with a minicon. But he did not have a minicon in the show. So to anyone who's like, oh, where's Ramjet? And why are you not complaining about Ramjet? I don't care. For me, I'm more about show accuracy. And this is very accurate to the show. But Optimus Prime, Hotshot, Starscream, Megatron, potentially next year's Red Alert. I will complain about them not coming with minicons, even though the Power Links version of Hotshot did come with a minicon. But outside of that, like who I also forgot to use for the transfer. I'll get size comparison for them later on. Don't worry about it. But anyway, those figures, like it's like they had minicons in the show. So in a sense, those minicons should be made. He didn't have a minicon, so I don't necessarily care. That's why I forgot Ramjet also. But here he is. Look at them all side by side. Now then, let me get closer here. I did not feel like moving that thing because it'll fall apart. So I just keep it over there. Do not touch it. But here they are, the 2 leg pieces together. And yeah, they don't look good together. Like, I love the old one, but I also like the new one. Even though I don't like the way that the new one taps together. Because this thing, like, look at this. I'm holding it on one side. It's not coming apart. The only thing that's opening is this, in order to reveal a bridge for minicons to sit in. But outside that, but that's because of the fact that the connection here is just this. It's literally his crotch. So they are always connected. And this one, I don't like the connection. I'll say that. I hate the connection, but outside of that, everything else is... It looks good, it looks big, it looks beefy, it looks great. And I love it. This one has more of a red color, than that has more of an orange color. I just noticed that. But man, they look good together. So let's move on to the next one. Here you got the 2 pair of arms together. And I like the coloring on this thing a lot more. The darker shade of gray instead of the lighter shade of gray really pops. I do love how they both have a big Decepticon symbol up front. But yeah, and also how they have extra pieces, like this thing has this, which it doesn't have. The purple bridge. Purple is always more of a victory for me than gray, so it works. Also, this guy figure has been a bit discolored because of the fact that I've had it since 2004, I think. I'd say about 2004, and if you hear noise in the background, that's my dryer. I don't know if it gets picked up. But anyway, I've had this thing since like, what, 2004 maybe? When this show came out. I'm so old. I'm so old. Because it wasn't Energon in 2000, yeah, Energon 2005, Cybertron 2006, and 2007 was live action movie. So let's move this out of the way as well, and hopefully not touch the other tidal wave so we can look at the final component, the chest component. Now I will say this, what I love more about this figure is how this figure does this. You need to grab in here. Like with this, you push the head in, rotate this over the head, and then rotate this around. It covers up the head a lot better than this thing does. But for some reason, I also like the fact that there are there's like 3 dots sticking out over here. So it's a bit of an annoyance in which one I like more. But color-wise, well, the new one obviously wins over the old one, as even though I may be a big fan of the old one, the new one actually wins. And also, what I forgot to talk about is how I like how they still have like a nub here. I guess for minicons, even though the minicon stuff does nothing. But I like how they kept it, you know, as you can see here. Here you go. But like here and here, they kind of kept that stuff. I like that. But man, I love the size of this, you know. It really makes this one just look more intimidating the bigger that it is. I will say that right now. It looks a lot more intimidating with the size and how big it is. And especially when we get some other figures involved, you will get to see that size. So let's move Tidal Wave's pieces out of the way so we can get into the next one. So here we got some of the Armada figures that I have, plus the Legacy Armada figures that have come out from like Legacy Evolution or regular Legacy for Starscream and Evolution for like Hot Shot and Megatron and Optimus, and now united with him, with Tidal Wave, and also some regular Armada figures, and Jolt, who I forgot about before. This is what they look like together, and they look good together. Even though, weirdly enough, I'm gonna say this, and this might sound a bit weird, but the Tidal Wave is a bit too small. I don't like to say it, but he's too small. Cause like this is supposed to be like that bridge there. Come on. That bridge there, you see that on top of here? There you go. That one. That people are supposed to fit in there. Meanwhile, people are also supposed to fit in, well, in the car. 2 people are supposed to fit in here, and like 50 people are supposed to fit in that thing. That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that it's like too small. But I love the size nonetheless. I mean, the fact that the Tidal Wave's arms are about the size of Commander Class's Optimus Prime plus his trailer is insanity. But man, I love this thing. I will say this though, Armada keeps on winning. Alright, Hot Shot might not have been the best figure. I still think it's a good figure, but I don't think it's the best figure. Starscream was great. Megatron was fantastic. Optimus was perfect. And Tidal Wave is Tidal Wave. We'll get there when we get there. But here we have him with his other modes. So now, we are gonna be taking the 3 pieces and combining them into one. So let's combine these 3. What you want to start off with is you want to take this and just do that. Just no force at all. Split it up and just push it to the side. Same thing, it's not the same for this. This you keep the same as it is now, okay? Because the main transformation is coming from this big man himself. So what you want to start off with, you want to take this piece here and lift it up. Take these pieces and rotate them out like so. Like so. Just fully rotate them out. Then rotate them on this joint, not that one. Kind of like what you do with the original figure. I don't like how squeaky that is, but I don't even know where the squeak comes from. Kind of like so. Then what you want to do is you want to come to this thing. And as you can see, you got a gaping hole that on this channel I'm not allowed to call anything, because that would be inappropriate for the kiddies. But we got a hole here, and the top of his head is gonna go into that hole. It's like a reverse baby. What you also want to do is you want to take there are 2 tabs here on either side here. 1 tab here and 1 tab here, and then there's also these tabs on these sides here. Let's see if we can show that off better, because on this little camera it's difficult to see. Anyway, they go in here. That's that tab up there, goes like in here, and then also you got this hole here that the bottom tab is going to go into. So what you want to do is you basically want to take this and just squeeze it in, and then squeeze all this. So just push, and there you go, second one in. Woo! And little me, tiny wave fell out. Put it back in. And then what you want to do with this thing. Now under here, there's a tab here, a slot here, and also on the other side. That these tabs on either side here are going to tab into. So what you want to do is you want to take this basically and push it down. That's all you need to do. But for anyone who wants to know where the tab slot connection is, it's right there. So there you go. Oh, this thing is becoming big. Now then, we will take this bad boy here. And this one that finally has a good connection piece. This tab here goes into his foot slot right here. And then this nubby here goes into the top part here. And here it sticks out a little bit. And you want to put that down in here. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you want to put this down in here. Okay, don't then. Line everything up. But that's basically mainly because of how big he is. But push that in, and there you go. And then take his wingy here and just flip that out like so. Make sure that it stays in. Same thing on the other side, so fold out the little wingy. There you go. And here we have, after 15 long pounds that I have lost now. There he is. Here we got Tidal Wave in his big big gun mode, like super big mode. So here we have Tidal Wave in his base mode, and I'm holding the camera stand. But we're not base mode, in his combined super mode or whatever it's called. Small issue on the box. This thing doesn't have a name, but let's call it the ultimate mode. The real, true vehicle mode for Tidal Wave. Let me just get in closer here, and I want to sit down because I've been standing for enough. But man, this thing looks good and holds together really well. Look at this. I can pick it up here, and it's not untabbing, except for the fact that little mini-me is falling out. Leave mini-me alone. Anyway, but here we go. Look at how beautiful and big this guy is. Oh my god. This thing is huge. Now all the details are still the same as before when we talked about them. So there's not really anything new to talk about, just except for how huge he is. That's the only other thing we've got to talk about, how big this thing is. And man, he looks so good. Except for one, well, there's one thing actually that I think we should talk about. And that basically involves this mode alone. Because these fingers here at the front, they can untab and lift up. Now the reason for that, I guess, is for the fingers to rotate around. However, if you take a little plane, or a little jet actually, and you can just shoot it off into the sky. Oh, I love that. He even has like a spot here for the minicon from the original, which also had a darker spot there. But in the original, right in here, you could like lift up a panel and then store him inside and then put it down. I like how that's still like grayed out to mark it, because I don't remember if that was the case in the original. But also this is also something that could have happened, that could happen in the individual, in the Dark Fleet mode when this thing was alone. But I don't care. I like to talk about it here because this is like the big mode, and I love this big mode so much. And the fact that the feet are not falling off is great. This is what happens when you actually have pegs that peg in to things. Because the clips that work for these two to have to hold together does not work. But this works. Man, this has been one big review. So let me just put you off to the side. Let me put Ramjet here as well. And let's get into that size comparison. So here we have the two big boys together in their big modes. Also, I forgot to say during this comparison, let me just do it right now, because I forgot to talk about it. So basically, this guy also has a base mode. I don't know why, because this is technically his base mode, okay? Because in the game, in the Transformers Armada video game, you have a mission where, as Optimus Prime, you fly in with the minicon, I think, over here. And then you go into a tidal wave, and then afterwards, you fight the big tidal wave. I might show my gameplay here, but you go into the base. This is the base mode. All right, now that's out of the way. But here they are together. They look good together. Really good, actually. I really like them together. Man, like I said, that Unicron trilogy was kind of my jam. And while I didn't really watch Cybertron because that's kind of when I left collecting, it's ironic because around Armada is when I started collecting, because I really only had Armada, and then I left collecting when like Energon kind of was a thing, because well, when Cybertron kind of came out towards the end of Energon, I kind of left collecting because I wanted to focus on one thing. And if you come from a family that has like no income, basically, you don't really get much allowance. And when these figures are like, okay, the leader classes were like 60 or something like that, but when you have like figures that are like 20 bucks, it's like that takes about a month to save up for a singular deluxe. You don't really get to own many figures. And I wanted to focus on some other stuff, so I kind of left Transformers collecting during Cybertron, well, at the end of Energon. It had nothing to do with the quality or lack thereof of Energon, I would like to say that. And I didn't really come back into collecting until Revenge of the Fallen brought me back. So while this big boy doesn't necessarily give me the nostalgic goosebumps, oh, Tidal Wave does give me that nostalgic goosebumps. The same way that Megatron did and Optimus Prime, but like extra goosebumps for Tidal Wave and Optimus Prime, because I had those figures. I had the original. I have the original Tidal Wave. Speaking of which, here he is. But I had the original figure, so this is even more nostalgic for me, because I always looked up at my shelf and saw original Tidal Wave. That one. And then I transformed that one. And and now I have a huge version, as he should be huge. Because in the Armada game, he was gigantic. And in the show, he was gigantic too. But in the game, because it's a video game, you feel that scale a bit more. So it was always something amazing. But now I have a figure to scale. And technically, they can actually repaint that tidal wave into that tidal wave. I call it Gamer Tidal Wave. And look at them together. They look great together. My only thing is, I like this one a bit more in the transformation department. Because he can transform into this mode without being ripped apart. You can rip him apart and do it, that's how I did it now, because I just put the pieces together. But this one you need to rip apart. With this one, you just need to rotate him a bit and you can actually get him out of there. So that's where this one wins. But this one is just great and I love it. So let's go into the Armada cast. Here we have the Armada cast of figures that I have used throughout this review. And whew, man, Tidal Wave really is big. Now, he's not big like he should be, because this thing should dwarf everything that's here. But to be honest, you can't make everything to scale. You just gotta make it big. And just hope that people shut up. And just hope that people be silent about it. It's the same thing with Unicron. Studio Cell, 01 Studio Cell is a great Unicron figure. And people complain that he was too small. Hasbro's version of Unicron is not that great because of all the panels and stuff like that, and does not look good. And he is bigger, but he's still not the scale. In order for Unicron to be to scale, he needs to be the size of the Earth. In order for this big boy to be into scale, he needs to be about the size of my room. That's how big he needs to be to scale. So, I don't care. I love this thing. And he looks good with the rest of the Armada cast, especially the Legacy ones, but even older ones. Like the Legacy and older ones, they work together pretty well, if I'm being honest here. It's not like, oh, they need to be like smaller. No. Or like, oh, they're too big. I don't really feel that necessarily. The only issue that I have is with Hotshot being the wrong kind of car. Feels like someone did this to Hotshot and was like, perfect. But outside that, Tidal Wave looks great with the rest of them. So, how about we get into that base mode, shall we? I mean, we have to. I don't want to, but we have to. Alright, so let's get this big boy into base mode. The one mode I don't want to get him in. So what you want to do is you want to untab the legs first of all. Let's just get those untabbed. Take the leg pieces here and just rotate them out. Come on. By the way, I know you're supposed to do base mode second. I just don't like base mode because he shouldn't have one. He doesn't really need one. That's just it. I did not do base mode in protest. Anyway, then what you want to do is you want to take the legs here and open them up. Take this big piece in here and rotate it around like so. Tap this back in like so. Make sure everything is back tabbed in. There you go. Then what you want to do is you want to take this here and just rotate it, push this in here, and just there you go. Then what you want to do is you want to use this joint here to rotate this around like so. Same thing on the other side. Open up, fold out, close back up, push in here. Okay, then don't. What the there you go. And then push it down like so. Now what you want to do is you want to come here to the front, untap this piece here from there, rotate these pieces around, and then there is a tab here. Let's see if I can show that off better. I probably can't really zoom in. I can zoom in. There's a tab here that goes into the slot here. So you just want to take it and just tab that in and do the same thing on the other side as well. I'll also lift this piece here up. Rotate this around and then tab it in. I forgot to say, remove these pieces as well. I guess that will be the next step. In the next step, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll remove these pieces because we need them for later. So just basically open the, oh wait, there you go, that's better. Open this up and pull on it. Also split them, obviously, and pull them out. Pull them out. Move them off to the side. We'll deal with you when we deal with you. I already have the GS piece removed because of the fact that that thing kept falling out. Anyway, what you want to do then? Rotate this bad boy back around. Is you want to take these pieces here, fold them out. Also fold this in, I guess. I don't really think we need these pieces here, so fold this down. And then fold this out. And basically what you're going to do with this is you're going to go back into robot mode. So you just attach these, but attach them backwards. Like so. And do the same thing on the other side. Big hole here on the side. Let's see if we can show it off better. There you go, big hole. That this goes into. There you go. Rotate these arms so that the hinge is facing up. And then rotate this up. Wait, like so. I guess. There we go. We got a lying tidal wave. Now what you want to do is you want to rotate this around. His head, his big head around. And then as you can see under here, there's a tab that goes to the back of his head. So you want to lift this up. Like so. Rotate this down. And then look for where the tab is. And just tab that into the back of his head. Like so. So next up what you want to do is you want to take these turrets and pull them off. Like so. Like so. The big turrets right here. That explains why they came loose in the package. So, the two of them on either side of his leg here. As you can see, there's a big hole here on top. You want to take it. This board peg here goes into that hole. So you just want to basically take it and put it in hole. Take it, put it in hole. And then on his arm he also has a hole. Right here at the front. This one right here. And you want to take the other two. If you don't drop them. And plug them in here. Back here. It's difficult to show off. But because I also have limited room. Limited everything. Tiny arms. But we did it. There we go. As you can see. Both turrets are attached. So now we're going to go and put in the little ones. So next up what we're going to do is you want to take this chest piece here. And there's a hole here as you can see. And then there's a hole on top of here. I thought it was a reference, that big hole. See if I can show it off better. Yeah, there's a tab here. And I thought that tab was a reference, but it wasn't. It was for this. So basically want to take it and just... Oh yeah, I do have the right side. No, don't untab. The tab connection to the head is not perfect, and neither is this connection apparently. Whatever. Oh, the base mode's falling apart. Yeah, like so. Rotate this around a little bit. Yeah. Then what you want to do is you want to take these pieces here and just straighten them back out. Also rotate them around so that the hands are actually here. And lift up the hands, so rotate them around like so. And then lift up the fingers a bit. And then under the leg, this is not going to be possible for me to show you guys. But under here, there's a tab. At least under here. That this tab, well a hole that this tab is going to go into.
Sit in right there. And on this one, you have a post that you want to flip out, and this is going to plug in right.
Now then, we need to place these two pieces in different locations. Starting off with this one. This one needs to go under his thigh here. There's a hole somewhere in here. I'm not going to be able to show you. Here it is. It is right next to the hinge, so just... There it is. Alright, found it. I had to look in it. But anyway. Then with this thing, what you want to do. You want to unfold this tab here. Then you want to come back here. Did you untab again? Why do you keep doing that? Anyway, what you want to do with this thing is you want to basically tab it in here, in the cannon, behind his hand. As you can see, here is a cannon. You basically just want to tab it in. I forgot which way this has to go, so we'll adjust it if we need to. Anyway, rotate it back. There you go.
To become a tower. That will sit.
No, but it doesn't sit like that for me. Oh wait, this way. This is supposed to be facing this way. So you want to take it and just plug it in like so. I thought it couldn't happen because the thumb was blocking it. Like so. Whoa. I have a small feeling, and I hope that it is true, that we are almost done. So next up, what we're gonna do is you want to take this chest piece here, and there's a hole here, as you can see, and then there's a hole on top of here. I thought it was a reference, that big hole. See if we can show it off better. Yeah, there's a tab here, and I thought that tab was a reference, but it wasn't. It was for this. So basically, want to take it and just. Oh yeah, I do have the right side. No, don't untab. Rotate this around a little bit. Then what you want to do is you want to take these pieces here and just straighten them back out. Also rotate them around so that the hands are actually here, and lift up the hands. So rotate them around like so, and then lift up the fingers a bit, and then under the leg. This is not going to be possible for me to show you guys, but under here there's a tab, at least under here, that this tab, well, a hole that this tab is going to go into. Now then, we need to place these two pieces in different locations. Starting off with this one. This one needs to go under his thigh here. There's a hole somewhere in here. There it is. Alright, found it. I had to look in it, but anyway. Then with this thing, what you want to do, you want to unfold this tab here. Then you want to come back here. What you want to do with this thing is you want to basically tab it in here, in the cannon, behind his hand. As you can see, here is a cannon. You basically just want to tab it in this way. This is supposed to be facing this way. So you want to take it and just plug it in like so. I thought it couldn't happen because the thumb was blocking it. I have a small feeling, and I hope that it is true, that we are almost done. Now here we are at the finale. I forgot which way it's supposed to go where. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to fold up the wing like so. Fold up the wing like so. Take this post here and push it out. Take this post here. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that this purple tank thing is facing that away. Then you know that you have the right side. So what you want to do is you want to basically take this. Here you have a hole. You want to basically make sure that this tab goes into that hole. Like so. Same thing on the other side. On this side there's a hole as well. About the same height. Just tab it in. Right next to the wheel that's there. Rotate this around carefully, obviously, so that things don't start to untab. Because if I did everything correctly, here we got base mode. So here we have tidal wave in base mode. You can also lift the cannons up. But here we have tidal wave in base mode, and I'm not a big fan of base modes. I will say that. Those city formers as well, like, you know, Metroplex, Fort Max. I don't particularly care about those guys because, I don't know, it's just basically a robot doing yoga. But overall, I think he pulls it off pretty well. Just the head tab doesn't really tab in for me, and this tabs in way too loose. But outside that, it's a fine looking base mode. It doesn't really warrant its own, like, you know, like size comparisons and special transformations for me to do. It's just like, here's a base mode. He's got one. I don't know why. I don't think in the show he ever had a base mode. I can't remember him ever having a base mode. They just added it in because they wanted to. And you know what? Good on them. But as me, I'm just gonna pretend that this mode doesn't exist. Unlike the worker mode for Metroplex, this just doesn't exist for me. But it looks good. You want size comparisons? I forgot to do Jolt in the robot mode, in the combined vehicle mode. So here you go. There you go. Size comparison with Ramjet and Jolt. Anyway, let's get this big boy back into robot mode so we can talk final thoughts. So let's get this guy back into robot mode. So what I want to start off with is we're just gonna undo these pieces here. This big one in the back here. This side one here. Come on. This one here. Oh, I have to stretch my arms so much. I feel like Mr. Fantastic. This one here. Let's just get those pieces out of the way first. And then also these pieces here. No! And this one here. This review is definitely going to be longer than an hour. I can guarantee you that already. Now what you want to do is you want to untap the piece here if it hasn't untapped already. There you go. Rotate this piece here around. Or push this down on that double hinge that is in there. Let's just lower the camera a bit so I can show you guys that. There we go. We're flying down. As you can see in here, there's a double hinge. So you want to fold it down on the inner hinge and then fold it up. And there are tabs under here that are going to tab into this. So just push it down and there you go. Done. Now what you want to do with these legs is you want to straighten them out. To be honest, I thought that this joint here was a reference to the original figure. Turns out it wasn't. We'll get to you later. Anyway, then what you want to do is you want to close the legs back up. Like so. Now then, feet o'clock. You want to untap this piece here. These two pieces up here. Rotate them up. And then this tab here is going to slide into that slot right in there. So you want to rotate this around and just slide that in there. Make sure the tab's in. Open up the feet like so. Fold out the heels like so. And stand the big boy up. And there we go. He stands. Next up what you want to do is you want to rotate his head around like so. Rotate the arms around. Rotate this around as well, like so. Same thing on the other side, like so. And then we're gonna take the pieces and transform them back the way that they are supposed to go. And we're gonna take this piece here. You will know which side is which because of this little tab here. Now what you want to do is you want to take the cannons and plug them in on his titties. His titty cannons. His booby guns. I know normally you have booby traps, but Tidal Wave is one of those who has booby guns. And then also, I don't know, this is not really anything. I can't make a joke out of this because it's not really, it is technically the crotch would be here, not here. So this would be, I don't know what that would be. Make sure that the foot is down. There you go. And then finally you take this big boy. And just plug him back in here. But here we got Tidal Wave back in his robot mode after going in protest about the base mode. So does that mean I need to destroy stuff now? Because that's how they do protests in America. So, final thoughts on Tidal Wave and some exercise comparisons. This has so far been the biggest figure I have ever handled on this channel. It probably won't be because I still have Metroplex. So whenever I do that review, that one will be the biggest. But my goodness, this figure is almost everything that I wanted it to be. I will say that. The only issue that I personally have is the legs not tapping together. The leg pieces in their vehicle mode, in their C mode, they don't tap together. I don't like that. I hate that actually. That is absolutely something that I hate, and I think that they should have fixed it. Because on the inside here, they could have easily put a hole and a tab on the other side. But they could have easily done that. But they didn't do it. So that is a bit of a shame, because it would have been able to make Tidal Wave just that much better. And that much more fun. But overall, I think that this figure is great. And to be honest, Armada, like I said, keeps winning, dude. And I love Armada, so we keep winning. Sure, Legacy didn't do Prime any justice whatsoever. The best thing we got was Skyquake and Dreadwing, and even that is but I'll talk about that when I get to Skyquake later on in the year. But this guy is great, absolutely fantastic, and I love him. And I'm happy to own him. Now, about size and price-wise, is he recommended at full price? I don't quite know. Because he is smaller, but he's still big. And he's still beefy, but he's smaller. But I think that proportion, like the joints-wise, I think he's better. Now, I've heard about the knee bends having exploding ratchets. Apparently, there's a fix for it. Not every copy suffers from it, but there's a chance. So, hey, that is an issue. And apparently, Triptychon had the same one, but this one is at a way less expense. I just thought I'd mention that one. But overall, I think that this figure is great. And I love him. To be honest, if I could marry him, I would. But the recommendation for me is yeah, sure. If you're a fan of the Armada show, you like Tidal Wave, I would recommend him. Otherwise, you know what? Maybe there's another Titan class that you might want some more. And I don't know who. I don't know who's available. But I think this thing is great, and I'm happy to own him. But that has been my review of Transformers Legacy United. Titan class, which is the first time I've said that on this channel. Titan class to Armada Universe Tidal Wave. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell and comment your thoughts on this figure. And please check out my Let's Play channel, linked in the description and at the end of the video. I upload 3 videos every day of different games, but mainly Pokemon. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye!